that after decades of persistent violence, illegal settlement expansion, dormant negotiation and deepening occupation, the conflict is again reaching a boiling point. High level of violence in the occupied West Bank and Israel in recent months, including attacks against Israeli and Palestinian civilians, increased use of arms and settler-related violence have caused grave human suffering.
For more, we're joined by Ali Abunimah in Chicago. He's a Palestinian-American journalist and the author of The Battle for Justice in Palestine. Welcome back to the program, Ali. The UN Mid-East convoy is calling for a return to a political process towards a two-state solution that could potentially resolve the conflict. But does that seem like a distant prospect, given that we're about to see what could be the most right-wing government that Israel has ever had?
It's, of course, delusional, and it's one of these empty talking points that members of the so-called international community, like the UN envoy Tor Wennesland, like to use in order to avoid assigning responsibility and accountability for the situation. His statement to the Security Council was shocking for its bias in the way it treated Israel and the Palestinians as if they were equals and as if they were equally responsible, without naming Israel as the perpetrator of occupation, colonialism, and apartheid. So, of course, this approach, which treats the victim and the perpetrator, the criminal and those against whom he commits crimes, as if they were equal, is of course completely destined to failure, which is why Wennesland is repeating the same empty slogans as European, American, UN and other officials have been mouthing for many, many decades, while Israel continues to murder Palestinians and steal their land with complete impunity and indeed rewards from the so-called international community.
Tor Wennesland has also called for an end to Israel's illegal settlement expansion and its demolition of Palestinian homes. But as you say, it's a message we've heard before, yet we continue to see Israeli authorities break international law. What more needs to be done?
Well, I didn't hear Tor Wennesland in his statement, and of course I read the whole statement, not just the clips which were played on in this report. I didn't hear him in his entire statement call for Israel to be held accountable for those demolitions, for the almost daily murders of Palestinian civilians, including 51 children so far this year. He didn't call for sanctions. He didn't call for Israeli officials to be brought before the International Criminal Court. What he called for is for Palestinians to ensure calm so that the occupation can continue without Israel being troubled. I didn't hear him call for support for the entirely legitimate Palestinian right to resist Israeli military occupation. I didn't hear him call for countries to help the Palestinians resist with all means, whether it be military means or indeed boycotts and sanctions. So many in the West now think that everyone should be boycotting Russia over its invasion of Ukraine, but they call you an anti-Semite and a Jew hater if you say that Israel, an apartheid regime, should be boycotted for its daily crimes against the Palestinian people and its violations of countless UN resolutions. So Tor Wennesland did not call for any accountability and did not call for any effective action. On the contrary, he called for Palestinians to be subdued, to be bribed with a bit more economic development here and there, so that the occupation and the settlements can continue in what he would call calm. And I also would point to the racism of claiming that the situation is reaching a boiling point, as if it is not always at a boiling point for Palestinians. As noted, Israel has already killed hundreds of Palestinians this year, including more than 50 children. And so Palestinians are never not boiling in the cauldron of Israeli occupation apartheid and other war crimes.
Ali Abunimah, we will have to leave it there, but it's great to get your analysis as always. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.